All right, we are live and we are ready to rock and roll. So I am super excited. So we wanted to make sure that before the holidays came, we had this opportunity to be able to just make sure that people had as much powerful information and really try to get in our mindset of just going, we're going to change what we're doing, and we're going to realize that there is a better, smarter, faster way. So in this live stream, my goal is to teach you how to make $17,260 a day, having a listing program and not your pack and not what you're currently doing. So if you're joining us live, I'm super excited to have you with us. We're going to talk about exactly the proven program on how to do that, why it's so important and why it's so valuable to you. We're going to have people jumping on during this entire session. So we're really just going to try to make sure that that's the goal. How to make $17,000 a day from selling a listing program instead of you, yourself, or your resume. All right, so let's jump in and let's get right after it because we're going to have a lot of fun today. So here's what we're talking about. How to make $17,260 a day selling your listing program and not you or your resume. Okay. Now, as I take you through this, I want to make sure if you're watching right now, you're going to watch this later or whatever you're going to do, make sure you have pen and paper. You're going to want to take detailed notes. I'm going to give you 3 key secrets that changed my entire life, my entire business. You're going to have every single piece of that today. Right? So right now, so we're going to, if you're taking your time to be with us and to be doing this right now, I want to make sure that you have every piece of value that you possibly can from this. So let's get to it and jump in. All right. First of all, as we're going through this, I want to make sure that to make $17,260 every single day, there's a couple of things here that we've got to make sure that we're really clear on. I don't want you to use these powers for evil. Okay, now what I'm going to be talking about today, first of all, we know that this is for educational entertainment purposes only. All commissions are negotiable. We all know that. We know that. That's a big thing. Whatever you're going to learn today, make sure that you check with your managing broker, your lawyer, your anyone that you need to make sure. But I can tell you what I'm going to teach you today works in any market. It works in different countries. We have people in Canada, Mexico, South Africa, all over that are using this to work less and make more. But again, also the secrets that I'm going to teach you in here today, there is a lot of power in this, and I want to make sure that you're doing it the right way, the ethical way, and that's a big important piece to this, okay? Now, in that, I want to also make sure that you're going to get a special gift. So in the link below, just for watching this today, I'm giving you our magnetic messaging blueprint. Now, this is the magnetic messaging that are going to attract listings to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week while you sleep. And when you have this, it's going to provide you a lot of power. So stick around. You're going to get all of that for free just for watching this today, okay? Now, as we go into this, here is the biggest thing that I have to tell you. I have to do an earnings disclaimer, okay? Now, I know we want to be dipped out in diamonds. We want to have the furs. We want to have all of this. Even you watching this, you're not going to take this and make $17,260 today. Now, you will very soon, right? But, well, possibly. I can't say that you will, right? That's the earnings disclaimer. But I want you to understand that I didn't start out making that either. What I really wanted was to just make more per deal. I wanted to provide better value to my clients. I wanted to provide a better strategy. I wanted them to sell faster for more money in less time. And I wanted to not have to sell or work with so many clients to be able to deliver that. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Work less, make more, okay? Now, as we start talking about commissions, again, everything is negotiable. But I want to make sure you understand this is that when we did a survey and we looked at this, the average agent was making 2.34% per deal on just the one side. Now, you might be thinking, Brendan, well, 6%, 7%, 8%, 5%, all of this. right? Usually in the, not saying the traditional, usually, right, we were talking about the total of buyer side and list side. Today, I'm focusing on just the list side compensation. And we found that people were on average doing 2.34% because they were paying referral fees. They weren't providing a strategy. They weren't solving the seller's problems. What I'm going to teach you today is how to help the seller net more money in less time with the least amount of hassle and have you make more money from it if you choose to. Now, you can charge 3.5%, 4.5%, 5.5%, 6.5%, 7%, whatever you want to do, you have that ability. That's for you to decide. All of that is going to be up for you to decide. And of course, as you meet with any client, it's always negotiable. But just imagine for a second, as we really dive into this, what if you were making $5,800 more per deal? What if you were making 3, 5, 7, 10, and the seller was selling for more money in less time? That's what we're doing here today in these 3 secrets. All right, so when this happened, we've had tons of people that have utilized this same play. This is one of my great examples here, Deborah. This is actually a video of her. Now, I can't figure out how to get the video to work today, but again, her husband was on the listing appointment with her. His name is Bart. Amazing, right? He filmed her after watching this and learning how to do this a week later, taking a $1.3 million listing at 3.5%. And he videotaped it. Imagine he's in the room videotaping the people signing the agreement at this from what they learned in these 3 secrets today. So I'm excited. You're going to understand how to do this. Let's get after it. Now, she's amazing, right? Deborah was a seasoned agent. She had been in the business a long time. She wanted to have more time with her family, her everyone around her, kids, her grandkids, all of that. And she said, I can't keep on this hustle. So there's got to be a smarter way. So if Deborah can do it, I promise you, you can do it as well. So if you're watching this, who is this for? Okay. This is for listing agents. Now, when we talk about that, you might be thinking to yourself right now, well, I'm not necessarily, Brendan, a listing agent at this point. Don't worry. That's totally fine. Okay. You want to be a listing agent. Now, some of you are watching and you're going, I am an actual listing agent right now. It's what I do. It's what I eat, sleep, live, and breathe. And I am really, really good at being a listing agent, okay? This is also for buyer's agents. Now, what I'm going to teach you in this session is going to be, you can use this to create an irresistible buyer package if you want to. But my real goal is to get you from being a buyer's agent to a listing agent. Right? When we control the listings, we control our time. When we control our time, we can increase our value. When we increase our value, we can work less and make more. And that's what's so exciting about all of this. And then you can also use this if you are a team owner or a brokerage owner. So if you're watching right now and you're going, I want to grow my real estate team. I want to create an irresistible recruiting package, right? I want to have a program that attracts people so I can scale and grow. You're going to love this too. All right. So many different applications to this. We have people that use it for wholesaling. We have people that use it for investors. We have people that use it for all kind of different aspects. But my goal today is for people, wonderful, amazing, talented people. Well, maybe not even talented, for amazing, wonderful people to become great listing agents. Now, you might be watching, you're going, I don't even know what is a listing program. And do I really need it for my business, for me? Well, that's my real excitement today, is to teach you why going from selling yourself and you as a person to selling a packaged listing program is going to give you so much power. That's going to change how you thought about how you were doing real estate. It's going to change so many things. That's what the goal is for today. I'm going to help you 10x. Right? If you're taking time to watch this, I feel like I have a responsibility to you that you're going to take this information and you're going to 10x your business. Now, that's thrown around a lot, right? Just imagine if you just 5x'd your business, or if you're brand new, if you just 2x'd your business, right? That's what we're going to be talking about. And then I'm going to hopefully explain to you that the way to do it is with our proven listing beast framework. Okay. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm Brendan Bardick. I'm not expecting you to, but just so you know, I'm not some goofball. I've been in the streets. I've sold over 9,500 homes with myself, my teams. For 10 years, I sold over 130 homes myself as an individual listing agent. I've been there. I've done it. I've seen it. And I'm telling you, I didn't realize myself that there was a better, smarter, easier way that I'm going to share with you today. Now, we've had tons of success. We also utilize this same exact process to grow my real estate team, not brokerage, to over 147 agents in less than 12 months. So this has a lot of applications once you understand this powerful framework. Now, I wish it was all gravy and I just fell into this. This is little Brendan, as you see here, right? That's me. I grew up in a trailer park outside of Houston, Texas, in a town called Lake Jackson. And if you haven't been to Lake Jackson, and no offense to anybody that lives there, at least where I lived in Lake Jackson, it was rough. That's the actual trailer that I grew up in. I went into the social service system at age 11 due to neglect and abuse, and was in the group home system, got my GED while I was in the system, and at 17 emancipated and joined the United States Army. So I always start with that to go, I don't have a college degree. I don't have any magical talent skills. I don't have any of this. So if I can do it, you can do it. Okay. And I just want to make sure that you believe that as we move ahead. Here's what I wanted, though. I wanted to make $1 million a year, right? I wanted the money. I wanted the cars. I wanted the vacations. I wanted everyone to know that I wanted every award, every trophy. I wanted everyone to know that I was the greatest real estate agent that ever walked the face of this earth, okay? Now, I did that because I was in fear. I had nothing to go back to. I never wanted to go back. I didn't have an emergency exit plan or anything like that. There was nothing to go back to. So I said, okay, I want to, and that's an actual picture of me in my car with checks, commission checks, depositing them back in the day at the bank. I don't know if you remember this, but there was like this little tube thing that you just put the checks in, right? I'm probably dating myself here, but right? And I was in love with it. And I said, I want it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all this. And it worked. I did. And I got it. But here's what happened. I got it the hard way. I got it a way that I wish I knew better now that I do. And what I've learned, I was doing this by making cold calls 4 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. Just every day, bang, 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 expireds for sell-by owners, rent-by owners, notice of elective demand, pre-foreclosure, absent, all of this. This is an actual picture that you're looking at right here of my office, right? That you're seeing right here. And I had a mirror because I was always checking my energy. You would see me on a headset, right? Like I had a Blue Tiger headset. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but it's like what truck drivers use. It's like noise cancellation. It has all this tech in it. And I would do that 6-7 days a week. And I would take every listing I could, no matter how crazy the seller was, no matter what the price, no matter how much I had to reduce my commission to get it. As you're seeing on this office wall, it has all of my scripts and dialogues. Below the mirror there was the actual list of where I ranked with all the agents in my market. And I highlighted exactly where I was at to become number one. So when I say I was obsessed with this, I am talking obsessed. Now you might be going, "Ooh, Brendan, you intense. Like that's a little too much for me. I'm not that way." I get it, right? I get it. But why I say this is that I learned from thousands of listing appointments, from being with so many different clients in so many different situations, that there is a way to do this that's really hard and painful. And then what I'm going to show you today, a way to make it so much easier. Now, in doing this, okay, when you look at this, my goal was to just take as many listings as I possibly could, and then I would take the single page public record report and I would tape it to my wall, and I go, okay, I'm going to cover my entire office wall with all the listings I took, and then I need to just have the other wall covered with once I get them under contract. So I thought that was how you did it, because I was coached and told by the top coaches in the country and people in my office. Brendan, this is the way you do business. You suck it up. You make the calls. You go and do the door knocks. When you don't hit your calls, you got to sit in open house that weekend to try to sit there and make more calls and try to find business. And it almost killed me. It really was so much and so exhausting that I had gotten to a breaking point. Like, I literally did not want to do this anymore. And when this all came to a head, I was at my Coldwell Banker office. It was 6:45 in the morning. It was December, freezing cold. I'm dressed in my three-piece suit because I was told that you had to show up to every listing appointment in a three-piece suit, and you had to put on this amazing presentation, and you had to do all these things. So I would show up at my office. I would get on the elevator, come upstairs, role play my scripts, my dialogues. I would get ready to go, let's go and hit the phones and have 30 no's hopefully become one yes. Think about that. 30 no's to hopefully find one yes. And some of those no's weren't very nice. And so this day, I had this divine intervention where a very top agent that was in our office as well had just moved to the office right next to mine. And if you've ever been in a real estate office, like, you know how like the walls are like paper thin, you can hear everybody through your walls. Well, she was there and she's making calls and warming up and doing her role play. And she's about to call the same list of the same expireds that I'm about to call, but she was 67 years old, right? Now, that's not her actual picture, so just so we know, that's not her. And great woman, super exciting, super nice, very, very wonderful person. But I had this wave come over me, like you know that moment where like the little hair stand on the back of your neck and you're like, well, I don't have very many, but right, like all of that. And I go, is this going to be my life for the next X amount of years? Am I going to be coming into this office? And now, granted, she was 67. Like, imagine being 55, 60, whatever the age is. But that's what we've been told of how you're supposed to do this business. So I said, this is not what my life is going to look like. And I truly believe in this. Things happen for a reason. The day after that, I actually had a trip planned with my wife to go see her family down in Arizona. And when I headed down to Arizona, I started to see these signs everywhere. 72 sold, sell your home with 72 sold. And I was like, what in the earth is this? I've never seen billboards, TV commercials, radio ads. And I never saw someone take what they do and put it into a product or package and sell their listing service like a strategy instead of themselves, their resume, or their company. And I said, this is different. Now remember, I just had a nervous breakdown about how I don't want to wake up being 67 cold calling, right? So I said, there's got to be something to this. Now, whatever your feelings are towards this company, if you know who they are, good, bad, or the other, here's the one thing that I will tell you. They weren't the only ones doing it. They were doing it at the highest level, but I started to research. And what they really had the magic of is that other people were doing the same thing. I started researching top agents that were doing this, not only in our country, but in Australia and in different cities, different markets. I was like, well, maybe it only works here. Maybe it only works in this type of market. And I found that other top people were doing this, and they were the people that were making the most per deal, providing the most value with the least amount of work. And I said, hey, that's what I want to do. I want to do that as well. And so what they were doing is they were taking what we already do for most of us, but they repackaged what they were doing. And they were telling a story about how they did it. And they were making it about their program and their strategy, that their strategy did 5.8% higher sales price in less time, right? So basically they were helping sellers make more money in less time. Now, just like anything, there's good and bads to the way they were doing it. There's good and bad to what every program that someone's doing is. But what I want you to make sure you're thinking about, especially with you joining us today, is I really, really want to make sure that you're crystal clear that when we're doing this, right, and when you know that you have the ability to package your services and do something different, okay? Now, my favorite word is different, I want you to write this down. Different is better than better. Think about that for just a second. Different is better than better. If you're different, right, you have something unique to talk about, unique in your strategy, unique in your program that delivers the results. It's much easier to have a high level of success than going, I'm a better agent. I'm better at cold calls. I'm better at open houses. I'm better, right? Different is better than better. And this company and so many others were doing this at a high level. So I said, you know what? If they can do it, well, it can't be rocket science, right? Like, I'm going to do it myself. So I decided to make my own program called Sold in 65, right? I wanted to create my own program that delivered these high level of results in a program that I could deliver. Now, don't get wrapped up in going, do I have to have a number and a logo and all this? Don't worry about that right now. My goal is today is to get you to believe that when you have your listing program, it gives you so much power to get you so much more business and also increase your per deal compensation. Okay, that's what the whole goal is. Now, everyone thought I was nuts. They were like, Brennan, you crazy. Like, right? This is, our old Bardic group. I've been at 2 brokerages my entire life, Keller Williams, Cole Banker, and we work with clients from everywhere. EXP, Remax, Compass, in boutique brokerages, you name it. We've Real Broker, everyone. We've had success with all fantastic type of people learning these secrets I'm going to teach you today. And the difference was, though, is that everyone was like, we're doing fine. We're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, but we're just doing it better because we were like, we'll out cold call everyone. We'll show up earlier. We would have call sessions on New Year's Day. Like, this is how insane it was going, we're just going to outwork you, right? If we outwork you, we're going to get the awards and the accolades and the money and all of this. But there's a huge price to pay for that, okay? Right? You're doing more volume for less money, paying referral fees to Zillow Flex and lead spins and realtor.com and homes.com. And none offense to all of those companies. They're all fine, whatever. But I go, there's got to be a better way. And then we learned from other companies that were doing it better, which is called modeling. We said, we got to be able to also do this ourselves. And everybody stopped thinking I was nuts when it changed everything. So we started to sell 400 homes a year. We were able to increase our per deal compensation almost a full percentage point. It was like 0.98%, right? And if you don't know what I mean when I say per deal compensation, here's an easy math equation. If you sell a house for $500,000, if you sell it for 2%, okay, right? If you 2% compensation, that means you make $10,000. Sell a house for $500,000 at 2%, you make $10,000. If you sell that house for 3%, you make $15,000. $5,000 difference from a 1% difference. Now, when you increase that to 3.5, 4, 5, and you might be going, no one in my market would ever pay that. I'm telling you, baloney. I know because I've seen it. I've watched others do it. I've seen people take what we're talking about here today and have the exact same success in their program. Then we wanted to reduce the days on market, right? Imagine, I don't know, for some of you right now, I've watched some of your days on market. You're on the market for 60, 70, 2 months, 6 months. You're blaming the market. You're going, well, that's just how the average days on market are here. I guarantee you, here's my challenge to you. In your MLS, there's properties every day that are selling in the first 24, 48, or 72 hours of being on the market. Every day in any market, I guarantee you that. And some are selling before they even go to market because it's the strategy and the program that delivers that result. So make sure that you're thinking that. Now, what I really wanted was to have more time. I wanted time back. Now, my wife wouldn't let me use pictures of her and our family. So I said, can I use a picture of our dog, Godzilla? And she was like, yes. So I always have this just as a fun moment to go, right? Like, this is little Godzilla from a puppy to who he is now. And in looking at this, right? Like this is who he is. This is little Godzilla. And but the point of this is I wanted people to have more time for themselves, for their family, so that they could have a higher quality of life and be able to make this, business fun again, make it easier for them. So it took me 23 years, and I had to discover it the hard way. I had to look at this and go, my gosh, this is absolutely insane how challenging this is. And it was not an easy path on any single level. So if you've been struggling, right, don't take this to heart. This is probably the reason why, right? You've faced this noise. You've had conflicting advice. You've been told that you have to cold call, you have to door knock, you have to do all of these stupid things that make business so hard. And then the big lead platforms have been convincing us to tell us that we need to pay for leads, we need to pay for referral fees, that there's the only way of doing this, that this is so challenging that it has to be done in this certain aspect and in this certain way. So my goal today is to free you from that, right? To free you from all of those limited beliefs and go, this is possible. What I'm about to show you next is going to teach you that it is possible, and that with a little bit of reframing, rethinking, and getting our minds right around this, that you can do it too, okay? So like I said, I always tell people, it's not you. It's your package. It's the way you've been doing things, the way you've been told to do things. So I had to learn this the hard way. And I really do mean the hard way. So, I had to figure out how to write the copy, meaning the actual parts of the program. And that cost me about $20K. I had to design the actual program from start to finish to make sure that this would work. Then we had to create the collateral, meaning the actual components to be able to do this and scale it so anyone could do it anytime, no matter where they were, what their age was, all of that. And that cost about $7,500. Then I had to hire the top listing consults from the companies that were doing this, and I had to pay them for their secret sauces so that I could understand how to put this recipe together so that I could help myself and others do the same thing. Then there was the legal fees, right? So we had legal fees because you got to make sure that this is all buttoned up so that you can do it in your market, that there's ways to make sure that you're protected and that you're safe in being able to do this as well. And then the biggest expense, the time. So 1,400 plus hours. And this is a picture of our actual training room where we would lab test this with agents. Some would be the seller, some would be the buyer, over and over and over again, working out any hiccups, objections, concerns that we could actually be able to do this. And then all of them went and delivered it to real world clients and had massive success. Now, I figure this cost me about $320,000 some odd dollars, and it took me 3 years of my life to get there. Okay, so that's what's nice about you watching this. You're going to get this in 3 simple secrets that took me that long and that much money to figure out how to do. So 3 secrets in 15 minutes. Let's talk about what they are. Number 1 secret, right? I want you to make $6.3 million. When I said $17,000 a day, that's how much we made in GCI for myself and our real estate team in 1 year. That's $17,000 a day. Okay. Now, as we said, earnings disclaimer, you're not going to start there, but you will get there. I promise you, if you want to do this. Well, I can't promise you. Take that back. All results will vary, but there's a great, very, very increased opportunity to go. If I can model and learn from others, I can probably have a lot of success. Okay. So then we're going to talk about crafting your irresistible listing package in 20 minutes or less. And I'm going to show you how to do it even faster than that. And then number 3, what would be the point if we don't book listing appointments from this, right? So we want to have listing appointments on autopilot, meaning that when you're with your family, when you're at your kid's soccer game, you're getting booked listing appointments to your calendar 24 hours a day, 7 days a week while you sleep or enjoying your life. Okay, so that's what we're going to jump into. So let's start with the first secret. How to have a multi-million-dollar listing package so good sellers call you. All right. Now I want you to think about this. This is a great, great thing that Tony Robbins has said. If you want to achieve success, all you need to do is find a way to model those who have already succeeded. The big word there is model. Okay. So I've modeled this. I've done all this. Now you're going to hopefully model and take it to the next level and go on and have massive opportunities. Okay. And then my second favorite thing to make sure our mindset is right. You can always tell who the pioneers are because they have arrows in their back and they are lying face down in the dirt. Now, I know that might sound a little cryptic. Some people go, what the heck? Like, I don't want to be laying down face in the dirt. The moral of this is pioneers had to lead the charge on this first, right? And they've already taken all the heat. They've already taken all the arrows, right? This is what we're talking about. And now you get to get the best from them because they've already done it. This comes from Herb, who's the CEO of Southwest Airlines. It's one of his favorite quotes. And I don't know if he actually came up with it, but think about it. Southwest Airlines is different. They changed the airline industry, whether you like Southwest or not. They changed the airline industry and had a massive, massive impact and were very, very successful doing it. But they had to be different. They had to be a pioneer and be one of the first, okay? So step one, all right, when we look at this, when we're talking about step one, what we're looking at is stop selling yourself, okay? The old way is you would sit here and most agents go, hey, I'm Brendan, I'm great, I work hard, I'm available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When I take your listing, no one's gonna be more honest with you, more customer service driven than me, right? I'm just so great. And the problem is, every agent says the same thing. So I want you to write this down. Please write this down, okay? This is the big thing that we've got to make sure that we're crystal clear on. Why should I list and sell my home with you? Why should I list and sell my home with you? Okay? I want you to really think about that one statement. When I do this, and especially when I teach live or I'm at a big conference or something like that, everyone kind of freezes up and they go, or they start rattling off, well, because I've been in the business 22 years and I know every house, I know this, I know that. The new people are looking at it going, because I'm a really hard worker, I'm really hard this, okay? When you change this and you have a named listing program with a defined strategy and a clearly packaged offer that produces results, you get to say, instead of hire me because I'm great, you can now insert your location. So Denver's most innovative home selling program gets you 5.8% more without having to do open houses or one-off showings. As just an example. Now, that's not what everyone's going to say. I'm just using this. When we work with you, when we teach you this messaging magic, right? That's the statement. They call this your elevator pitch, if you've heard of this before, right? Your elevator pitch. Now, Donald Miller, with all of his work from StoryBrand, it's an amazing book and teaches a lot of this for all kind of businesses. But I felt that real estate was so far behind all of this, okay? Like it is so crazy to think about that we've been doing this business in such an archaic way for so long, when Fortune 500 companies have figured this out, and that's why you buy products from them. They understand that we're going to provide this result without you having to experience this pain. Now, if I just said our result is a little bit better than the other company's result, it's really hard to market. It's really hard to convey that and provide something that sounds different. Think about it like this. I go, if you want to lose weight, I'm a great personal trainer, and you're going to take 6 weeks, and we're going to do 3 hours a day of push-ups and cardio, and we're going to do all this thing. You're going to have to not have any sugar, probably can't eat bread, not do any of all of that stuff, right? It's going to be rough for sure, right? But because I'm great, we're going to get there. Or think about what Ozempic has done, right? Maybe not the best example, but I want you to think about it. They go, let's just get rid of all that and take a shot and feel less hungry and lose the weight. Now, I'm not conveying that that's the right way to do it, but I want you to think about that in the type of doing it. Think about it in these other things. There's so many other products that do this very well that they go, there's so many ways to do things. There's so many ways to sell houses. But their companies are taking it and going, I'm not going to give you more energy. Like everything has a secret sauce. So you should take this green tea with this certain herb thing in it, because when you do, it provides you a little bit more of this without you having to give up this. All right? Really think about that as we move ahead here. So that's what we're really wanting to be focused on. Now, step 2 is, so let's make sure that we're clear on this, right? You got to stop selling yourself. And then step 2 is you got to have a clear name. Now, I don't recommend or love any of these names. I just put 10 on here to give you a quick level of examples. There's so many ways to do this to customize it to you, but I just wanted to give you some ideas, right? When you're looking at 2, 3, 4-letter words that you're packaging your listing services so that it sounds and delivers amazing results. But a name does that. If I call up, let's say that I still wanted to call an expired and I said, hey, I saw you came off the market yesterday. My name's Brendan. I'm really, really a hard worker, and I really, really think I can help you get your home sold because I'm really cool. It's so much harder than saying, hey, I wanted to give you a call. I saw your home came off the market yesterday. And with Colorado's most innovative home selling program, we do blah, blah, blah without blah, blah, blah. I just need 15 minutes of your time. Does today at 4 work or tomorrow at 1 for me to stop by? And they hear that and they go, that's different. That's a little bit different. So that's what we're talking about, okay? Then we have to have a clear promise. So our solution provides. Now, this is an example from an amazing selling program. It provides urgency plus security so you get more net profits for you. And then you see below, right? It goes into it. When buyers have a sense of urgency and they have a sense of security, you walk away with more net proceeds. So that's the promise that we're delivering. Now, if you're going, well, I don't even know if I could deliver on that. That's what we do. And we're going to show you in this framework how so you can do it yourself. Okay. Super, super easy. Then we've got to make sure that there's a clear process. Process is everything. A plus B, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So in this is a great visual example of taking someone through a buyer journey and going, great, a listing journey, inside the buyer psychology of their mind. We're taking the seller through and going, think about it. When we have controlled showings, a VIP buyer experience, create social proof, and then have an inspection protection program. Again, this is just an example, and some of you are going to rip this off and run with it anyway, and that's awesome. Right? When we have all of these things, you get better results. Okay? We can't just take what we do now and go, I put you on the MLS, I take pictures, and I put a cool name on it. Well, that's not doing anything different. You're slapping, as the old saying goes, you're putting lipstick on a pig, right? I'm not saying your presentation's a pig. I know so many of your top agents, you work really hard, and I get that. But what I'm saying is, if you don't deliver results that are different, then you can't put a different name on it, because that's just doing the same thing, trying to spice up the naming, and that's not going to really get you to where you want to go. So who does this work for? Well, it works for new agents. Right? So if you've never, ever even sold a house, right? When you have a named program, instead of coming into a brokerage and going, all right, new agent, it's time for you to go sell houses. You need to go sit open houses for John because you don't know how to do anything. You also need to cold call. You also need to door knock. You also need to join the Chamber of Commerce. You need to do blah, 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 blah. No one comes in and goes, why don't we get your program developed, your product developed, and when I say developed, plug and play, so that you now have something exciting to wake up and sell every single day. Then for seasoned agents, we've had agents like you just saw with Deborah who have been doing this for a long time, had success, but just want to go, I want to make more per deal and make sure that I have to work with either less clients to make the same money that I was already making, or have a scalable listing program that I can sell to someone else when I'm done and I want to retire. So I can take royalties from it. I can sell it to them in a lump sum, but that's a lot easier than selling your team, your company, or if you're an individual agent, your database. Yeah, here's my database. It's pretty great. Well, you want to give me some money for it? Okay. But you can sell your packaged program. And then team owners, if you want to utilize this to recruit, to add people, to have your irresistible recruiting package, it works great. If you want to add team members to your real estate, for team members that are on a real estate team, just don't think because you're on a team that you also cannot do this. Teams are great, but what about how you want to run it? Like how you want to make sure that you're maximizing it, right? If I've had a big team, do you want to pay a referral fee to your team? That's fine if you do, but wouldn't it be awesome to do both? Like you could get more per deal and do this, right? Think how exciting that would be. And then luxury agents. I hear this all the time. Brendan, this all sounds cool, but that would never work for luxury. Like my clients are they just would never, they would never think about this. We've had people, as you just saw with Deb, but to say luxury, not to say 1.3 million is luxury. We've had people sell for $5.6 million homes. We've had people do this in every market, every price range, and have had massive success with it because it's about a strategy and a program, not me, okay? Now, recruiters love this, right? Because as I said, you can grow your team, buyers agents. If you're looking at this and you want to take this same methodology and create your powerful buyer package, you can, all right? And then it works. We've watched it, okay? So just again, got to remove that little devil off your shoulder going, I don't know, right? Like we call that limited beliefs. Let's get rid of your limited beliefs today. Now, to make you believe this, Macy joined our real estate team. She was 19 years old. 19. In 1 week, came in, learned our program, took her first deal at 3.5%, $13,000 over list price is what it sold at, meaning that it sold over the price because that's part of the program is providing massive results. And she made $18,920 on one deal, 19 years old. So wouldn't you like to do the same? Right? She couldn't even celebrate. We couldn't even go out for margaritas and celebrate with her. She's 19. Okay? So this works. Imagine just removing all of the chaos that you've heard about the limited beliefs on will it work for you or not. It does. So I want you to think about this. Don't think that you're a donkey right now. I'm not saying that. But instead of being in a herd of donkeys, what if you had a unicorn offer, a unicorn package, right? We can keep doing what everyone else is doing and getting the results. And then when this is the word that you have to really get discussed for, you're a commodity. When you do what everyone else does, and the only way that you can try to get your money is to either drop your price or work harder to make more of them happen, you're a commodity. I want you to be unicorns with me. I want you to be a unicorn in what you're offering. So when you do this, what happens? Well, look at all of the results. Homes sell faster. You make more per transactions. You get signatures at every appointment, right? If you want them. Now, you might have some sellers that are just woohoo, wacko, and you don't want to work with them. That's your choice, right? But for the ones you want, this is designed and specialized to get signatures every single time, okay? And then you have sellers calling you because you have something unique that they're not getting anywhere else. And there's so much power in that. So number 2, how to create your package in 20 minutes or less. And we're going to talk about maybe even doing it a little bit faster than that right now. So when you do this, you don't have to be creative. I can hear you right now going, oh man, being a unicorn sounds great, but I'm not creative. I don't have any graphic arts experience. I don't want to do this. Well, we've created all of this step-by-step implementation, AI-powered prompts. Plug and play presentations, not only in Canva, but PowerPoint to make this easy for you. Custom plug and play templates, right? Our entire package, you take listings with 4 pieces of paper. There are secret pieces of collateral. 4 pieces of paper taken $18,000, $19,000, $25,000, $30,000 over and over and over again. Some of you are still doing 18-page listing agreements. And I watched one lady I came in after. She had a CMA that was about 48 pages deep of this. No, probably like 480 pages. I mean, this thing was the novel of market analysis. And I'm like, what are we doing? It must have taken her 6 weeks to prepare for this listing appointment. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. So that's what some of us are thinking. We're thinking that we need to sell our expertise. We need to sell our hard work. No. We need to deliver results and a proven strategy. So let's have some fun. You're watching this right now. Take a piece of paper, any piece of paper, and I want you to draw this beautiful model that you're looking at right here. So take it, draw a triangle, and then put 3 lines inside of that triangle, just like you see on this picture. Now, in the upper left, if you want to write ILP on it, which stands for Irresistible Listing Package, which you're going to love those 3 letters. And if you want to put a smiley face on it to remind you how much fun this can be, go ahead and feel free to do that. But as we start doing this, in the bottom, okay, I'm going to do this with you. In the bottom of your piece of paper, I want you in that first bottom line to write core services, okay? So you're gonna take your piece of paper, you're gonna draw that triangle, really simple and easy, and in the first line, you're gonna write core services, okay? We're not winning design things here, okay? Core services. The second line up from that, on the core services. What a core service is what you're probably already doing when you work with a seller as it stands now. These are the basic fundamentals. Pictures, MLS, all of that. But when you make them basic and you don't know how to message them to sound like they're extremely valuable, then the client doesn't relate them to being unique, so they think you're just like everyone else. And if you're like everyone else, then the only thing we can do is reduce the price of you and your compensation. So core services, and when we teach you this, you've got to have core services packaged that are brought into light in a way that makes it more exciting to the seller than anything else. Then the second layer up is I want you to write the word bonuses, all right? So bonuses, this is the most fantastic thing that we're going to be talking about. When you're working with a client, you probably heard this before, but wait, there's more. People love the extra hookup. They love the extra little this, the little extra that. Think about you in your regular life, right? Like sometimes, if you've ever been to a really nice restaurant, they'll come out and they'll be like, look, the chef wanted to give you this amuse-bouche. Again, I'm not that fancy, right? I got a GD, right? But it's this like little extra thing that you go, all right, now I guess I am going to pay $70 for this steak that's probably the same as the steak I paid $30 for. But that extra little is what we're talking about. So in the real estate world, we have agents that offer a variety of different things. Maybe you're going to offer a staging consultation, a home warranty, a pre-home cleaning, right? Like our team comes in and they're amazing. They clean your house because you're busy. You got 3 kids, 2 dogs. Bonus. But packaging matters how we talk about this. If you just go, hey, when you list with me, we clean your house and we take pictures. Wah, wah, wah. That's not what we're trying to talk about here. I want you to be so excited and passionate about your package that you truly believe it's going to change their life, that you truly believe it's going to give them this, and it will, right, once we have it done correctly. But what the problem is a lot of people just never were taught this. So you take some listing presentation you found from some broker that's, been doing it for 35 years, you try to copy it, you go to your company's website, try to make some bootleg thing, and then that you get scared and you go out there and they go, hey, just get in front of some sellers and tell them what you'll do. And then put a big contract in front of them and try to get them to sign it. It's so hard. It doesn't have to be that way. But we're spending time on the wrong things. We're spending time on the things that give us the least amount of money and take the most amount of time. Open houses, door knocking, working with buyers, instead of spending a little bit of time to make the most amount of money. So the next line up, now we've got guarantees. So write guarantees in there. Now, either singular or plural. The top agents that I researched across the country were providing guarantees to their clients, meaning that perfect example is an easy exit guarantee, right? So I have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Susie, if any time you're not blown away by the level of service I provide, you can cancel this agreement at any time. We can actually tear up the agreement, no harm done. I base my entire business on integrity. In fact, I'm so confident that won't happen. I actually do this, and this. I'm just going to give you some real quick examples of this. Some do a sell your home in 30 days or I'll buy it. Guarantee. Now, you might hear this and go, that sounds terrifying. I'm not going to be out there buying houses. I ain't got any money to buy houses. I don't want to buy any houses. All of this has disclosures and disclaimers in your program, but the top agents are using those programs. And sometimes, if they want, they do buy the house. But there's a lot of pieces that have to be right for that program to work that the seller has to agree to. But they know what those are. We know what those are. We give those to you. And now you can decide if you want to do that or not, but you don't have to. But we have so many guarantees. In fact, I wrote an entire book, a great best-selling book on this called The Magnetic Blueprint, right? We have examples of guarantees in here, step-by-step playbook. And so again, when I talk about I'm obsessed with this, okay? So, because I've watched it change so many people's lives. Now, on your last beautiful piece of artwork on the very top, I want you to write in that top triangle, trust boosters. And you might be like, Brennan, what the heck is a trust booster? Well, trust boosters are case studies, testimonials, but here's the difference. Some of you have a lot of testimonials or not any at all. But if you have testimonials, some of you are taking your testimonials and you're thinking that because you sold a house and someone said, I used Sally, that's telling the world that they should use you, right? That would be normal logic. That's not the case. The difference in a case study is when you take a testimonial and they go, I used Brendan's most innovative home selling program, Sold in 65. His strategy and his way to get us more money in less time blew my mind. That's power. That's something that you can scream at the top of the rooftops. You can market and promote. So you might be thinking, well, I don't have any of those right now. No worries, right? We have a really special way of how to put all that together, whether we're going to leverage your company for right now, we're going to leverage friends and family, right? We can do a certain variety of things. Never, of course, trying to not do anything ethical or honest, but marketing is messaging. It's framing. It's presentation. That's what we're going to have you do here, okay? And then the last thing I want you to do on your beautiful picture is I want you at the very top to draw a cherry on top of your beautiful picture. And next to that cherry, I want you to write the word you. Okay, so let's see if I can get this here in the camera, right? It'll look just like that, you. Now that's my best drawing of a cherry that I can possibly do. We're not saying that you are not special and that you don't bring a certain element to this, but it should be the sprinkle on top. So if you're bilingual, if you used to be an architect, if you were a teacher, here's what I want you to think about. Your unique selling proposition, what makes you special, has to be fit into 3 major things. Please write this down. These are the seller core services, okay? 3, they want to sell for the most money, in the least amount of time, with the least amount of headache and stress. Those are the 3. So if you can't frame or know how to frame without proper messaging and using our AI and tools that we have to get your message right, so if you were a school teacher, why does that matter for those 3? Okay, that's what I want you to start thinking about. Some of you, I look at this and I've seen your LinkedIn profile and you're like, I've been in real estate for a year and a half, but I was 18 years as a data programmer analyst. Okay, why does that help me do this? And then remember, now you're still talking about you. You could be a data analyst programmer and I can give you a selling program, and now you're going to go sell a program and a strategy, not you, the agent, the person. Think about that. The freedom it gives you, the anxiety it takes away. Okay? Just like anything else. If I wanted to teach you to, if I gave you $15,000 to sell this phone, right? I gave you $15,000 to go and sell this phone. And I gave you every single step of how to do it. And I go, every time you do it, you're going to make $15,000, $18,000, $20,000 for selling this phone. That's so much easier than you having to go, I'm going to teach you how to sell you and convince people that you're great, even though you've been in the business for a week, a month, a year, 2 years, 3 years. And even though you've only sold 3, 5, 7 houses. Or if you're like Deborah, who's already selling 70 houses at a time, and we have people that have sold 600. Or if they're selling a boatload of homes, right? Taking this and all of your experience, but also getting your core services, your bonuses, everything on here we just talked about aligned so that, again, you can do this much smarter and make more per deal. And that's where the real fun of this, not real fun, but that's where it came. Now, I was actually at a real estate conference, and I was walking down the hallway. Lady runs up to me, didn't know who she was. Again, I'm not to say I'm very introverted. I'm not a big huggable person. So she comes up and she hugs me, and I'm like, oh, hello. She's like, Brendan. And I was like, yeah. She's like, you might not remember this, but I actually came to your webinar, and I understood what you were doing, and I started to do it, and I did it, and it changed my life, right? Once I realized that I was working with about 80, she was working with 82% buyers at the time, right? She was like, I was not having time with my friends and family. It was killing me. And Tara was like, she goes, Brendan, once I realized that I could sell a product for more money, provide more value, and have my time back, I had more time with my family, right? With my kids, with the people that I care about. And what she was really cool about is she was like, and I was able to do much more for my my charity. I think she was doing the breast awareness cancer thing. She was like, I could really do more to help out because I had more time back because I wasn't on the hook for having to sell so many deals. So I take this serious, right? Like that's how I fill my bucket with those kind of stories. And then we started geeking out. And she was like, how do I do this better? And what about this? And how about that? And all this. Because she was just out there winging it, right? And had this kind of success. So that's what's so cool, is to see that there is a recipe. You just have to understand it. And the old recipe was this, right? Sell me, sell the CMA, right? I'm a great at pricing strategy. I'm a great negotiator. Sell hard work. Sell customer service, right? That's so much harder to go pick me instead of my program delivers. So I knew there is a new way and a better way, just like anything that evolves in this world, right? So that's why I created Listing Beast. I wanted to go, if I can do it, if my team can do it, what would it look like if the world, or at least a lot of agents that are willing to be smart, could do this? And what would that have to look like? So that's what I set out to do. And we've had massive success. We already talked about Deborah, right? With her success, we have so many case studies that I'll talk about here in a second. So I always pause for a second here and just go, do you think having a program would help you, right? Do you think having a powerful listing program would be able to help you, right, have more success in this? Hopefully by now I've convinced you. If not, there'll be a replay of this and you can go back and watch it again, and I hope it does. And if not, you can always call me. We can chat about it, right? So let's get into secret number 3, right? Secret number 3, listing appointments on autopilot. Because here's the question I get. Well, Brendan, this all sounds awesome, but like I need leads right now. Like I get it, the program thing, I get all that. I need leads. Let me state this very clearly. Some of you are spending so much time trying to find a client instead of magnetically attracting a seller listing to you. So you're trying to go and find someone to work with. If I could find someone to work with me, buy, sell, whatever. Some of you are working for free. You're working with buyers that never end up buying. I see that all the time and it breaks my heart, right? So you're thinking about this in the wrong way. Yes, this. I'm going to show you exactly how this gets you leads. But if you have a product that sucks, it's so much harder to get leads. If I sold a junky phone, I know I keep talking about this just because it's in front of me. If I had a terrible product, right, it's so much harder for me to sell it. But if my product is good, there's a line outside the store that sells itself. I want you to have a line outside your door that sells itself. Okay? So make sure, as we talk about this, and I'm going to show you this, but some people want to jump right to this part. It's fine. You're going to get a lot of value there too, but I want to make sure that we're clear. So here's the model. Okay? In the middle, we have the seller core desires that we talked about earlier. Most money, least time, least hassle. All right? Tattoo that on your forearm. Or don't. Write it somewhere. Then you may have heard of this old model, and it's not old in a bad way. It's a great model. Leads, listings, leverage. Yes, that is a great model. I believe in that model. But when you hear that, leads, listings, leverage, it's like, okay, well, where do I get the leads? How the heck do I get the listings? And then how the heck do I get the leverage? Well, we got to break that down inside the model and go inside getting listings, you've got to have, and leads, you've got to have a program, meaning your package. You've got to have a presentation that delivers results, that gets the seller to where they want to go, selling in less time for more money. And then you have that power and you can promote all the time. Now, you can also start promoting day one with what you already have, and I'll teach you some secrets there. But the three of those combined make this business so much easier, so much freaking easier. So here it is. Drum roll, the magnetic blueprint. Now, I spent tons of time researching this. Like I said, this isn't a book plug, but I'm going, if you ever know how hard it is to write a book, it takes a lot of research, a lot of time. And I went and talked to the top agents that were making the most, working the least. And there were 6 key components that we analyzed in every one of them that was having massive success. And whatever that means to you, some were doing thousands of deals, some were doing 50 deals, but they were doing them at 4.5% per deal because of the value they were giving to the seller. So it all begins with step 1. We've got to have an irresistible listing package, right? Number 1, you see right there on the left, irresistible listing package. We just spent a lot of time on that. Number 2, we've got to take that package and we've got to put it onto a digital storefront, meaning a landing page, which you might going, what's a landing page? We call it an LLP, a listing landing page. A listing landing page is a 24 hours a day, 7-day a week storefront that sells your listing product while you aren't there. It's the best thing on earth. Now, some of you have websites, some of you have buyer sites, some of you try to combine all this into one. You might be going, oh my gosh, Brendan, this is going to be hard. I have to get another piece of tech. No, I'm not telling you that at all. I'm going, some of you can do this with your existing technology. There is simple tech that we can, of course, provide that makes it so much faster and easier if you want. But what we're saying is a listing landing page is different than a website because it has one purpose: book listing appointments on your calendar. Now, it also produces a lot of leads, but those leads also lead back to getting booked. And you're going, what are you talking about? I'm talking Calendly, or we have other calendar services, that the client is booking a listing appointment to meet with you on your calendar without ever speaking to you. They're coming to you and finding you. Now, you might be rubbing your head and going, well, how's that possible, right? Well, it's easy when you have a great offer, and then now we're going to talk about how to attract them. Number 3, lead magnets. So lead magnets is just going, here is amazing free nuggets of value to get you to my listing landing page so you can learn how I can help you so that you want to meet with me so I can list and sell your home. Here's the equation of a listing, or an example of a listing lead magnet. Just think about it like if you've ever been to Costco or anywhere that maybe has a free sample, maybe a farmer's market, I don't know, anywhere. But let's say you're at Costco and they have this, you're walking by and you're kind of, you're not that hungry, you're thinking about whatever, and there's a little display and they go, it's a salsa, right? Like little tortilla chip in this. I just had this, so it's fresh in my head. And they're like, hey, there's this new salsa. It's delicious. It's this. Would you like to try it? We've got 3 different styles, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay, you grab it, you eat it. You go, that's pretty good. Then you buy the container of salsa. That little free sample is a lead magnet. That's what a lead magnet is, okay? So once we have that, and we have tons of them, and there's secret ways to do it, and we have different markets and different styles, and with AI, we can customize these. We're just gonna make delicious little pieces of salsa that get you to buy the whole salsa container, okay? Then we've got promote. So now when we have this, we can promote this organically, which means us just on our regular social media talking about it. We can do paid for very low. $1 a day can get us so much audience looking at what we're doing. Obviously, then you can scale and have even more. You can do this even if you want to with your direct mail marketing. You can do it with phone calls. You can do it the old school way. But think about how much higher your conversion is going to be because you have this. My goal is to have you do it digitally if I can help you. I know I can help you when I help you so that your lead cost is as low as possible. I want to go spend the least, make the most. And then number 5, data. Data. Write this down. Database, meaning yours, and then targeted data, meaning we have great providers that provide targeted lists that we can add into your funnel, which means expired data, for sale by owner data, pre-foreclosure, absentee owners. We have data right now that can provide geographic algorithm data that you might have already seen that is telling when people are ready to sell based on this, this, and this factor, or most likely to sell. And then we have services that can get us their contact information. And we can do that, of course, all ethically, and check your local laws and blah, 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 blah. Never violate the do not call list, never do any of those things, of course. Okay? So all of that. And that's the power. Then number 6, nurture and convert. No matter what, if we don't nurture and convert, write this down. It's not if a seller is going to sell, it's when. Not if, when. Not if, when. It's written on my whiteboard up here. Not if, when. Every seller is going to sell their home at some point. They're either going to die, they're going to need money for this, they're going to change that, they're going to have a baby, they're going to have a divorce, they're going to... It's not if, it's when. But we got to make sure your message and your program is in front of them consistently enough so when it's time, it's you. So that's the 6 components. So here's a little exercise I want you to do. Out of all 6 of these, whether you wrote them down one by one or if you wrote them across sideways, I want you to score yourself for where you're at right now, because the first place is, let's start with self-assessment. So we know where we're at, so we know where we want to go. So write them down on a scale of 1 to 10, meaning 1, nada tostada. We ain't got none of it, don't know, nothing, right? That's a 1. A 5 would be like, I've got a good listing presentation, but it's not packaged as a program. Maybe it's a 6, maybe it's a 7. And some of you don't take offense. You're like, my presentation is amazing. I thought mine was too. I'm telling you. But I was doing commissions at 2.2% sometimes. And I was doing a guarantee that said, if you list with me, I'll help you buy for a discount. All kind of things, because I thought that was the only, I thought I always had to discount me and my services, and that's what the client wants. What the client wants is the result. Think about this. They don't want to buy the trip. They want the destination. Meaning, I don't want to, if I want to go to Hawaii, I want to go to Hawaii. It's beautiful. I want to be in Hawaii. What I don't want to do is pack, go to the airport. I don't want to have to go through security. I don't want to have to blah, 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 blah. All of that sucks. I just want to be in Hawaii. That's what they want when they're selling a home. Another big thing to think about, right? Some of you are selling the trip and not the destination. Let's sell the destination together. That's where the power lies, okay? Now, next up, and then we're almost to the finish line. You hung in. I appreciate that. I'm excited for you. You're gonna love this. So when you do this, you go from chasing to attracting. That's the big thing right now. So you got to go. One of my favorite thoughts, from hunter to hunted. I want to be pursued. I go, is this really possible? Can this really be done? Can I be the one that's getting hunted? Like, can this really happen? Like, is this really, really possible? Right? Well, it is when you have something exciting to promote. You have 24/7 lead gen working when you're not. I used to think I had to make calls every day. 100% automated. Now, when I say 100% automated, 99% automated. You could have the best car on earth. You still got to hold on to the steering wheel and hit the gas. So just making sure we understand, right? And then stop cold calling, door knocking, wasting time at empty open houses, all of that, all right? So let's recap this. Step 1, sellers calling you. Okay, so we got to go from us to selling a program, a $6.3 million package. Number 2, how to package it quickly, right? Our beautiful artwork. You now know how to do it to a certain degree, but there's a lot of finesse and things in there that you have to make sure that you're tweaking on. Then 3, how to put listing appointments on autopilot. Now, using your magnetic blueprint and taking, right, this 6-part framework, we can connect all of the dots and we can be absolutely phenomenal. Now, when you did your score, remember that 1 through 6? Perfect score would have been 60. Just so you know, usually when I do this, people are at about a 15 to 17 score on average. We've got some people that are a little bit less of that, might be a little bit, newer, all this. And then we have some people that are like sitting around 50%, right? They're like, I got 30 out of 60 points. Millions of dollars lie in that 50 to 60 point range. Remember, 6 categories, 10 points per, right? 1 to 10. Okay, so So just think about that. I'm not even at a 60 right now. There's always room to improve and tweak. But when you get over that 50 line, woo, you are making some dough. You're making some dough, okay? So if you model what works and you have your program, you have this powerful way of presenting it, and you know how to promote it, you become the hunted. You become the unicorn. Now, right now, let me ask you a question, right? How many of you are hearing all this and going, I just feel like, right? Like that I've just been, this is a lot, Brendan, right? It's an absolute lot. I get that. I completely understand. And again, I'm with you, right? Like I'm not trying to sit here for a second. And I see some questions here, right? I think you had Team Zimmer. What if my commission for the first 15 deals for this, I'm not smart enough to do it, but I'll pay someone to do the tech stuff? So what if I split my commission for the first few? I like that. That's a good deal. You're negotiating it. That's awesome. I love that, right? So when you're asking about this, right, and thank you for that great comment. And I'll go back in order, and I apologize. I was on here. So with that comment, exactly right? Like you're going, what if I could just get there faster? And to say the tech, if we were sitting here 2 years ago, the tech's a nightmare. The tech is so easy right now, but because of AI and all of these different improvements, I'm not joking. You can have a listing landing page in about 15, 20 minutes. Not joking. It's that easy. We don't think about it. And so we go, I have to pay this company to do it. There's so many ways to do this. So to answer your question clearly, because I get this question a lot, how can I not have to deal with the tech? Well, there's a couple of pieces in this. First, the tech is a lot easier than you think. We have a link below that you can book a strategy session with us after this. We'll break all that down because, again, I can't do a full demo on here and all that fun stuff. If you want to use our tech, some of you already have the tech. I promise you already have it right now. I can show you in 10 minutes what the few things that we need to tweak are so that we can make it a machine. We can make it a machine, okay? So that's a great question. I'll just do a couple of other quick questions that I sometimes get, right? Like the questions that I get sometimes is, okay, first of all, Brendan, how quickly, once I start doing this, can it be done? And can I start seeing results? Well, you've seen Deborah. You've seen some of the other results on here. Let me get out of my, let me screen share here. Right? You've seen some of the other results. We have case studies on our Listing Beast website, one after another. So in our world, right, we try to give you as much free so you can DIY it. If you want to DIY it, you got this, right? Like we got so much stuff to try to help you. If you want to expedite quickly, then we've put together a lot of things that can help you do that much, much faster. Just book a call. We'll jump on. We'll talk to you about how this all works, everything that we do. And if we're the right fit, we'll work together. If not, we'll probably still give you some more free cool stuff so you can do whatever you want on your own, right? But that's the whole point to this is going, right? We have people that take what we do and do it, take exactly the offer and package that we provide, and they're taking listings in that first week with it. And I'm not even overly trying to tell you that that's not a possibility, right? It's that easy. We have people that are producing leads very quickly because when you are excited to wake up every day and talk about your listing program and you're selling you're selling a program and not yourself, everything changes. Your whole light bulb changes in your mind on how you're doing all of these things, right? The freedom opens up and it's a lot easier for you to feel good about talking about the problems you solve, how you help people, and you get your messaging right. It just becomes fun again. I got so exhausted of just trying to sell myself and why I'm a great realtor and look at my resume and my track record and blah, 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 blah. Instead of going, this program solves these problems and it gets you this. Ready to sign? Right? So great thoughts and great questions there. One last thing, and then like I said, if you have any questions, again, just hit that link below. There's one in the chat box now. There'll be one in the replay of this. Let's see if we are a good fit to work together. Like I said, one way or the other. But the other question that I usually hear is, Do I need to change all of my marketing? Like, do I have to go and change, my team is called this, or my name is called this, or my business cards say this? You don't have to change any of that. Remember, you're great. You're still the company. Susie Smith, real estate agent, is still the company. The product that you sell at your company is now what you're going to have. Okay, so you don't have to change anything of your existing. You're adding to it something that you're more than likely already doing anyway, and you're packaging it and putting a beautiful name on it. And now we can do cool things to tell the world about it. All right. So this isn't about a rebrand and going, I just changed websites. No, you don't have to change websites. You don't have to do any of these things. You have the biggest piece right now, which is different is better than better. And now, if hopefully you spent this time with me, you realize that having a program can give you this much value to 10x what you're trying to do right now. Everything else falls after that. That's the big domino that needs to move so that you can get everything else in order. So take the time to think this through. You're going to start seeing it everywhere, in every marketing that you're seeing, any of these things. Take a look at your office, your competition. They're all doing the same thing. And I'll leave you with this note. And this is what if I can only tell you one thing that'll change how you think about this. In the last 7 days, how many times did you promote your listing services digitally? In the last 7 days. I have thousands of friends on Instagram and Facebook, and I say they're friends, but people on it. I never see anybody promoting this except the people that are in our program. I don't understand it. And so they're going, I had a closing and taking a picture of me with a key at the closing table and going, great, you sold a house. That's your job. Cool, great job. Everyone thinks that that's marketing. That's not marketing. That would be like me being a plumber and I unclog a toilet and it flushes and I take a picture of it and I post it on my Instagram and go, another toilet flushed. That's not the same thing, right? When you have a program and a strategy and you have a client sitting there on a video going, Brendan's program, and again, Colorado, this sold in 65, insert your name. And I'm just giving you an example of what we know. And I've now sold mine to another agent, right? So it's like I do this full time now, but I sold it. That's another power of it, right? Oh, excellent. We're glad you booked. That's awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun. So thank you. So when I'm selling, right, this program, right, and looking at this, it just makes this where the conversation is so much easier. And yep, you stuck around, so you're going to get the special gift as well. Thank you for the people that are managing my team behind the scenes. I appreciate that. We'll make sure that everyone gets that free gift, and we'll put that out. But it just makes things so much easier when you're doing this program and not yourself. So with all the questions, right? Again, we have a website, we've got case studies, we've got testimonials, book a call, we'll do all that fun stuff. I want to work with people that are excited to be different and that are excited to, when you see your competitors. And I was just at a real estate conference and I'm sitting in a room and, everyone's sitting there asking questions about how to get a little bit better. And I just kept rubbing my eye. When I get really irritated, I rub my eye a lot. I don't know why. And I'm just going, no one's asking the question, how do I be different, right? How can I be different? They're going, what mailer is working a little bit better than the other mailer? Right? What script are you using that's converting at a little bit better than the other script? So let's stop being sheep and let's start being beast, right? Like beasts don't care about the opinion of sheep. And that's one of the things that drives me every single day. So thank you for taking your time. Thank you for your investment in this. Look forward to having you on a strategy call. Get your free gift. I know it's going to help you quite a bit. And if there's anything I can ever do for you, please reach out to Listing Beast. Go to listingbeast.com and we'll help you any way we can. Take care, everyone.